What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and in today's video we'll be doing a preview for the World Cup match between England and Iran. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. England versus Iran will be played on November 21st at the Khalifa International Stadium. The two teams were drawn in Group B alongside the USA and Wales. Let's talk briefly about how each team qualified for the 2022 World Cup. 1966 champs and 2018 semi-finalists England are making their 16th appearance at the World Cup. They made the cut by topping UEFA's World Cup qualifying Group I ahead of Poland, Albania, and Hungary. For the Islamic Republic of Iran, they got off to a rough start in the AFC World Cup qualifying second round group, but eventually pipped rivals Iraq to a place in the third round where they topped Group A ahead of South Korea. England is still under the watchful eyes of Gareth Southgate, who's been in charge since 2016. He managed England at the last World Cup where they placed fourth, and England will be looking to relive the glory of 1966 where they won gold on home soil. Currently in his second stint as Iran's manager, Carlos Queiroz is about to oversee a third straight World Cup for Team Melli. Even though they have never advanced to the knockout stage of the tournament, Team Melli won their second ever World Cup match by beating Morocco at the last World Cup. Could Iran venture into new territory and have a fairy tale run deep into the tournament? Well, I have to say it's gonna take something very, very special. Legend Appreciation Post. For England, John Barnes. The Jamaican born striker and Liverpool legend represented England 79 times, scoring 11 goals between 1983 and 1995, which also includes 2 World Cups. For Iran, Ali Daei. The former Hertha and Bayern striker enjoyed a long and illustrious career with Team Melli, playing 149 times between 1993 and 2006, scoring a record of 109 goals. Only CR7 has more. Head-to-head, England versus Iran. This will be the first ever meeting between England and Iran, and trust me, it promises to be something big. Let's talk a bit about form for both England and Iran heading into the World Cup. Well, if we check out England's last encounter at the UEFA Nations League, you would see that they didn't do very well at all. They actually got relegated into League B, which is something very weird. You know, like it's a very it has to be one of their worst performances at a tournament for some time. So if we scroll down here, we could see Italy topping that group, Group 3A, Hungary coming in second, Germany third, and England last with 3 points, relegated to League B. Wow. So let's go back. They didn't do too well. No wins at all in that tournament. So look, 3-3 versus Germany, 1-0 loss to Italy, 4-0 loss to Hungary, a 0-0 draw against Italy there, 1-1 against Germany, a 1-0 loss to Hungary. Played a couple friendlies where they defeated both Switzerland and Cote d'Ivoire. And in 2021, of course, we're not going to get too deep into that, but you could see there's been, you know, they did pretty okay. But 2022 has not been a good year, and they would want to turn their fortunes around like yesterday. Let's talk a bit about Team Melli. They played an unofficial friendly there, November 16th, lost 2-0 to Tunisia. In Qatar, they did beat Nicaragua 0-0, drew 1-1 against Senegal, 1-0 win against Uruguay in an international friendly, lost 2-1 to Algeria, defeated Lebanon 2-0 in the World Cup qualifiers. They lost to South Korea, defeated the UAE and Iraq. So going back to those World Cup qualifiers, they did pretty well, and it's fair to say that their form has been somewhat of a mixed bag with 3 losses in there, a draw, and about 5 wins. So they're a bit so-so. You don't know what to really expect. Are you going to get that Iran team that beat Uruguay in that friendly? You're going to get that team that beat Iraq? Or are we going to see that team that lost to Algeria or drew against Senegal in that friendly? So it's left to be seen what Carlos Queiroz's men present at the World Cup, and if they're actually going to throw a wrench in England's, Wales, and the USA's plans. Because, of course, guys, Iran are rank underdogs in this group, man. They've never, ever gotten out of the group. They've only had 2 World Cup wins ever, one of which that came against the United States and the other against Morocco. So good luck. So guys, let's talk a bit about players to watch for both England and Iran. Once again, big up to this article on The Guardian. You could go check it out if I remember to put a link in the description. And let's talk a bit about England right now. And of course, first player on my list is Jordan Pickford. He's going to be the #1 goalkeeper. But if he gets injured, they have Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale, who are equally as good in my opinion. I think Jordan Pickford is a bit mercurial. He could pull off the spectacular, and there could also be something crazy that happens. But, you know, he's the #1 choice. Me personally, I would have gone in with Nick Pope because he's just something special. But look, keep an eye on Pickford. He could do something big at the World Cup like he did back in 2018. And he's going to be a very important player for the Three Lions. Let's get into defense, right? I don't mean to be negative, but look, man, Harry Maguire is going to be a big liability for England. Gareth Southgate is actually hell-bent on playing Harry Maguire, but he's not playing a lot of minutes for Man United, and that could be a problem going straight into the England national team. Look, another player to watch, Kieran Trippier. He could be very talismanic, especially from a dead ball situation, so I have him on my list as well. Look, if you want to talk about a player that could be a catastrophic player as well, it's Eric Dyer. Which Eric Dyer is going to show up? The quality one or the big head Eric Dyer? You know what I'm saying? But look, oh, that's funny. That is definitely funny, man. But look, man, let's get into the midfield. And look, I have to talk about Jude Bellingham, man. Young talent. He's listed as a young talent. And I think he could be one of the breakout players at the tournament if England goes on to do very, very well. Look, there's Mason Mount and Declan Rice and co, but I picked out Jude Bellingham for a reason. Look, let's move up to the forward players. Special player, Raheem Sterling, of course. When he plays for England, he does very, very well. For Chelsea, for City, yeah, he did well, but missed a lot of chances. But for England, man, he comes up clutch on many, many occasions. Phil Foden, big Philly style, Manchester City player. He scores some spectacular goals. He's a good provider, and he knows how to finish as well. So Phil Foden, I think, is going to be a key player for England at the World Cup. Bukayo Saka fits the mold of a Phil Foden type player. Could be a little bit quicker, could be a bit more explosive as well. And Bukayo Saka could be a bit more versatile where he could help out in defense. So Bukayo Saka is definitely a player to watch. And look, I know England is a star-studded squad, but you got to talk about Harry Kane, main goal scorer, closing in on Wayne Rooney's record. And I think, yeah, he should break the record if England does well at the World Cup. But if they don't, well, he'll have to wait until after the tournament. But these are my players to watch for England. Let me know yours in the comment section. Let's talk a bit about Iran, man. Listen, I'm going to admit, a lot of these players I don't know too well. But for those that I know and are coming back from the 2018 squad, these are my players to actually take a look at. The goalkeeper, Alireza Beranvan. We know how good he could be. Was their #1 goalkeeper at the last World Cup, and he's coming back to show, you know, what he's capable of doing, and he's going to be a very, very busy man in goal coming up against the likes of Wales, the USA, and England. So first on the list, Alireza Beranvan. So let's get into defense here, and let's talk about the captain, Ahsan Haisafi. He's one of the veterans in the team, and he's going to need to keep that defense together indeed. Look, there's a lot of experience in their defense, a lot of quality players as well, but I think he is, you know, their standout player as well. So look, let us move, man. Let us move further up into the midfield. Vahid Amiri. He's a veteran. He's been around for some time, and he's going to need to hold his midfield together indeed. So keep an eye on Vahid Amiri. The main men. If Iran are going to do something big, I'm talking about make waves in Group B, the trio of Alireza Jahanbakhsh, Mehdi Taremi, and Sada Azmoun are going to have to come to the party. Okay? And you could throw a Karim Ansi Farad in there as well. But these three players primarily are going to have to carry the weight of this Iranian team. Azmoun hasn't been in great form, but Mehdi Taremi, oh man, he's been on fire for Porto. So these are my players to watch for both Iran and England. Fun facts. England were the very first and remains the only English-speaking nation to win the FIFA World Cup. And it makes me want to ask this question: is it coming home? As for Iran, on November 17, 2004, Ali Daei became the first international male footballer with 100 international goals when he bagged a quad against Laos in the 2006 World Cup qualifiers. He's also criticized for scoring a lot of goals against those minnows, but you can't take anything away from the man. He scored them goals. Let's get into the prediction. Let me say this first and foremost. If England does not beat Iran, they might as well pack up and go home. Seriously. Because this is the first game. This is where you start your tournament on the right foot, get your tournament off to a great start, and set the pace. And if you manage to slip up against Iran, God knows what's going to happen against Wales and the USA. So it's imperative, it's important that England win this game. For Iran, I think they give a very good account for themselves at the last World Cup against Portugal, Spain, and they did beat Morocco. So with them being drawn in an easier group, in my opinion, because Wales, USA, England, when you look at the heavyweights of Spain and Portugal, I think 2018 was a more daunting task for Iran. And they will look at this group as very navigable, very doable. You see what I mean? They would have belief in themselves that they could actually pull it off with the political tension in the group between themselves and the USA. Them meeting England for the very first time as well. It is basically Iran versus the English-speaking teams at the World Cup. Well, you could add Australia to that bunch, but it's going to be a tough task, I think, for Iran in this group. And I mentioned England have to win this game. And when you look at the quality of the two teams, right, you would say on paper, England wins this all the time, all day, every single time. But England are a type of team that could screw up their selection if Iran go out there, play with a low block, be very defensive, stay compact, keep England out, frustrate them, and then break on a counter or get a set piece with guys like Mehdi Taremi and Sardar Azmoun being very dangerous. Jahanbakhsh from the set piece situations. They could get something, right? They can definitely get something. But guys, for England, I think they have to go out there and just take the game to Iran, not hold back, not try anything crazy, keep things simple, do their thing. And the individual players have to do their thing as well. Foden and Saka and Sterling and co. And the Mason Mount, once he starts, and he has to be provided, whether it's Grealish or Maddison, these guys have to get the ball over to Harry Kane, because we know when he has opportunities, he's going to put them in more times than not. Defense, they're going to need to be on point. No mistakes. Harry Maguire, Eric Dyer, these guys are error prone. Right? If we have Kyle Walker, he's been dealing with some injury. John Stones, these guys are prone to error. All of them. You see what I mean? All of them. England are basically a big disaster waiting to happen. But is it going to happen? It's left to be seen. For this game against Iran, I could see them going out there and I could see them winning the game 3-1. There might be a hiccup where Iran gets a goal, but I think England would go on to win the game. Comfortably, maybe not. Maybe we see a situation Iran scores first, England come back, score 2, and then with Iran trying to get back in the game, they concede a late goal of some sort. But I could definitely see England winning this game to start the World Cup off in the right way, and for Iran, bit on the back foot. So I'm going to go for England to win the game 3-1. Let me know your prediction in the comment section down below. I'll definitely appreciate that. For England, their next game will be against the USA on November the 25th, while on the very same day, Iran will take on Wales. Guys, question of the day, is it coming home? There you have it, my preview of the England versus Iran game in Group B of the 2022 World Cup. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll check out all the other World Cup content on the channel. And from your boy Dominic Rich, until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. About to start talking without hit record. Oh, that would have been a disaster. Anyways.